Once upon a time, in a quiet village, there lived a young and beautiful girl named Emily. At 20 years old, Emily had bright blue eyes and golden hair. Though her family was poor, they were content and filled with love. They resided in a humble home and cared for each other deeply. Emily, a lover of books, often dreamed of a life better than the one she knew. One day, Emily went to the village market, where she encountered a boy named John. John was tall, handsome, with dark hair and a warm smile. He came from a wealthy family. His parents owned a grand house and vast lands. Emily and John quickly became friends. They spent hours talking and laughing, enjoying long walks in the fields and by the river. They shared their dreams and hopes, growing close with each passing day. One afternoon, John turned to Emily and confessed, "I love you, Emily. Will you marry me?" Overcome with joy, Emily replied, "Yes, John, I love you too." The two embraced, lost in their shared vision of a future together. However, there was an obstacle. John's parents did not approve of Emily. They believed she was unworthy of their son because she came from a poor background. John's mother said, "You cannot marry Emily. She is not from a rich family." John's father agreed, adding, "You need to find someone of your own status." This saddened John deeply. He loved Emily and didn't want to lose her. He defended his feelings, telling his parents, "Emily is kind and good. Money doesn't matter." But his parents remained firm, saying, "If you marry her, we will no longer support you." Emily, knowing of the situation, was also heartbroken. She loved John, but didn't want to be the cause of his family's rejection. She said, "Maybe it's better if we don't marry. I don't want to make things difficult for you." John refused, insisting, "No, Emily, I will always love you. We will find a way." Days passed, and John made several attempts to change his parents' minds, but they remained unmoved. Emily's family was also aware of the situation, and they too began to worry. Emily's mother said, "We love you, dear, and want you to be happy, but maybe it's better to let John go." Tears filled Emily's eyes as she cried many nights, unsure of what to do. She loved John, but didn't want to hurt him. One day, she made a decision. She spoke to John, saying, "I love you so much, but I think it's better if we don't marry. Your parents will never accept me, and I don't want to make your life harder." John's heart shattered, but he understood. He replied, "Emily, I can't live without you, but I understand. I will always love you." They embraced and cried together, knowing their love was strong. But the world was against them. Deciding to remain friends, they promised to support each other, but their hearts were broken. Both continued their lives, Emily working hard to help her family, and John focusing on his responsibilities, but each always remembering the other. Years went by, and despite their separation, Emily and John's love never faded. They never forgot each other. They knew that sometimes love alone isn't enough. Life could be tough, but they kept the love they had in their hearts. Emily remained in the village, helping her family and neighbors. She was known for her kindness, and everyone in the village loved her. John, meanwhile, worked hard in his family's business, always treating people with fairness and generosity. One day, Emily's father fell gravely ill. Emily was devastated. She cared for him day and night, praying for his recovery. When John heard about her father's illness, he wanted to help. He visited Emily, saying, "I'm so sorry to hear about your father. Can I help you in any way?" Emily was deeply touched by John's gesture. "Thank you, John," she said. "Your support means more to me than you know." John brought medicine and food for Emily's family and visited them regularly. Slowly, Emily's father began to recover. Emily, full of gratitude, said, "John, you have such a big heart. Thank you for everything." John smiled and replied, "I will always be here for you, Emily." As they spent more time together, they talked about their hopes and dreams. Though they still loved each other, they both knew John's parents would never accept their love. They agreed to remain friends and support one another, but deep down they knew they couldn't be together. One day, John had to leave for the city for work. He told Emily, "I have to go, but I'll write to you." Though sad, Emily understood. "I'll miss you, John. Please take care of yourself," she said. John hugged her, replying, "I'll miss you too, Emily. I'll be back soon." He went to the city, where he worked hard and learned a great deal. He sent letters to Emily, updating her on his life in the city. Emily, in turn, wrote back, sharing her life in the village. Time passed, and John became successful in his work. He saved money and helped his family, but he never stopped thinking about Emily. She remained in his heart, and he loved her just as much as before. One day, John decided to visit the village. He wanted to see Emily, to tell her how he still felt. When he arrived at her house and knocked on the door, Emily was surprised to see him. "John, you're back!" she exclaimed. John smiled warmly and replied, "Yes, Emily, I missed you." They spent hours together, talking about their lives, their memories, and their shared past. John said, "Emily, I still love you. I want to be with you." Emily felt both happiness and fear. "John, I love you too, but what about your parents?" she asked. John, determined, replied, "I've saved enough money. I can support us on my own. I don't need my parents' approval anymore." Emily was deeply moved by his words. "John, I'm proud of you, but I don't want to cause trouble for you." John responded, "Emily, you are my happiness. I want to be with you." With that, they decided to be together, knowing that their journey would not be easy. But they were ready to face any challenges together. They married in a small ceremony surrounded by their closest friends and family. Emily's family was thrilled, knowing John was a good man, but John's parents refused to attend. Despite this, Emily and John were undeterred. They were in love and determined to make their life work. They moved to the city to start anew, working hard and supporting each other through the difficulties life threw their way. Years passed, and Emily and John built a life filled with happiness. They had children and raised them with love and kindness, always teaching them the values that had been so important to them. They never forgot their journey, the struggles they had faced, and the power of true love. As they grew old together, they looked back on their life with pride. Their love had made them better people, and they were forever grateful for the life they had built together. And so, Emily and John lived happily ever after, always cherishing the love they shared. They knew that true love never fades, and they found peace in knowing their love had made their lives meaningful and beautiful. The end.